Happy Monday. I don't think it's the last Monday of the month, is it? It might be. It might be. Oh, and I'm in the sunroom. It is 73, 75 degrees outside, and in the sunroom it is 80 degrees, and I have windows open, ceiling fan on, and it's just nice seeing the sun. So hopefully it's not too bright or anything, but you know, as I'd say, it is what it is. So welcome back, everybody. This is Terry and my channel On a Simpler Life, our retirement life. If you're new to me, welcome. And welcome back to all my subscribed viewers and friends from the get-go. So Jerry and I have been married for 46 years, and it's hard to say, 46 years. And we have 2 grown children and 3 grandchildren. Our eldest grandson is graduating this May, and he lives with his mom down in Indiana. And so our daughter and her husband, our son and his wife and kids and us are all going to go down for the weekend and watch his graduation. It's like a 6-hour drive one way, so and I don't do well as a passenger in the back seat, but our daughter and her husband have said that they're driving and said that they are paying for everything, and we're just riding along. So I'll just make sure I have stuff to keep me occupied in the back seat. I can't read in a car because that makes me sick, and they are tall people, so there's not much room in the back of the car. So we'll see how my body handles being in the car for that long. So but anyway, so this last weekend we just sat around, well, we did a lot around the house and everything. Got the garden seeds all in, and not in the garden, but the ones I'm going to start for plants and everything, and got that all done. And then other than that, we just have been lazing around the house. Saturday night I was doing an awful lot, and my lower back's been bothering me. I have sciatica issues as it is, and it was bothering me a little bit for the last few days, but I was thinking I was taking it easy. But Saturday night I leaned over to lift something up, and I felt a sharp pain in the lower back, grabbed a hold of the closest thing to me, and so it was, I couldn't even get my feet up in the recliner. That's how bad it hurt. Jerry had to come out and help me. So yesterday was spent all day into the recliner, and so far today it's been, you know, I'm in the other recliner because the other recliner I sat in, the sun shines in so bright that you can't hardly see to do anything. So we moved my cross-stitch stuff and everything over to this side. But it's getting better every day. I haven't pulled it like this in ages, so it definitely is one that will probably take close to a week. So my only movement that I'm getting in is when I get up to have to use the restroom, or sometimes I just feel like I need to get up and just walk through the house for about 5 minutes, or stand or something. It doesn't bother me standing. It doesn't bother me any place else. Where it bothered me Saturday and Sunday the worst is when I was sitting. So Saturday I could not sleep on my left side. That's how I usually sleep, and so I had to lay on my back most of the night. And then last night I was able to at least lay on my left side. So it's slowly getting better. I'm keeping up on all the stuff that you should do. So, but that meant that I did a lot of stitching. So I got everything beside me. So just a second, let me pause you so I can put it on my lap so I'm not twisting. So just a second. All right. So I belong to, or I'm doing a mystery sew along on English paper piecing, and clue 3 is what I'm on, and I had put that down for a little bit, and of course I think clue 4, I think it's clue 3, 1, 2, 3, right? No, but this might be clue 2. I don't know. It's early in the stage. Anyways, I think the next clue will come out on Easter, which is April 5th. Yeah, right? This is Palm Sunday. Is it next? It's next Sunday. Anyways, y'all, this is what happens when you're retired. But anyway, so last night or yesterday I did pick it up for a little bit, and then this morning I stitched on it, and so I still have, there's 6 points to it. Whoops, don't pull my needle out. So this is what the clue is going to look like for me. So I'm doing the points, so I just got to the half of this one. So each of these blue with the purple will be a point. So that's what I spent Sunday and most of this morning on. And then I started sewing on this one. And as I was sewing on it, I knew that the tip was up here. Well, I sewed these 3 here, and I sewed these, and I looked at it, and I put the pink here, and I put the green here, so I had to rip it out. But so, and like I said, I'm just on the tip of the pink right here. I got the needle in it, and then I will have 3 more greens, and then I'll move over to this one. So I'm doing, mine is 3/4 inch hexes. The majority of the people I think are doing 1 inch or bigger, but I'm doing 3/4. And I still have all the papers in it. Eventually I will probably take out the center ring, because then it will make it easier to handle the bigger it gets. So I've been working on that. And then I didn't touch this cross stitch. So I was sitting there going, you know, I need some patriotic stuff to sew, and I have some, and I usually don't do smalls, but I did purchase, I think, 2 or 3 smalls, and so they're from Primrose Cottage. And this first one, this one's done on 16 count, and I use DMC, and it's her postage stamp. And so this one I did really quick, like within, well, a day's time. I would say a day's time. I started it at night, Saturday night, when I got the pain under control. And so I had done majority of this. I had done everything but the flag and the heart. So Sunday when I got up, I got the rest of it done. So this will turn into a pillow. I will do some type of pillow work around it. But yeah. So got that one done. And then I have to find everything. Then I wanted something that was springy and Eastery and everything. So she had this one called Spring Wishes. And I did mine on 16 count Aida. And I did not have two of her colors. So I just got out my DMC and I just laid it against the picture. So I did get this done before I went to bed last night, about 22:11. And this is what this one looks like. And this one I'm going to turn into a pillow, just kind of like she did. I don't have the teal pom-pom she has, but I have white ones, so we'll see. But anyways, I did get that one done. And I still have my needle there because there is one that is a small size, like this size, that is baby chicks and says Happy Easter. And there was another one, and they all take basically the same color right there. So I got all the colors in here in my fancy bag right there. So that's where I'm keeping my stitches for right now. And then I was going, well, I should show you this. I haven't touched it. I pulled out, I've had this pattern for a while. It's called Strawberry Fair. And I'm doing this one on, I think 16 count. Yep. And these are all the colors. So some Classic Colorworks, Weeks, and DMC. I don't have very much of this one done, so let me see if I can fold it over so you can see it, because I started on all the others. So I just have the one side done and two of the flowers. So next to the flowers will be that giant strawberry. So I think I'm going to come up here, put the two hearts in, and then I did start on the bottom, so I might work on that. So, but anyway, so I haven't picked that up because I just wanted to stitch something patriotic, and so that small one was the key to getting that one done. And like I said, I have the other one. Of course, they're on my phone. So, but I have that one done. So I got all those done. And of course, I still have this big cross stitch that I'm trying to get done. And the reason that I did those little ones is because I wanted a break from this big one. And my goal is to get this done today or tomorrow. I'm just trying to find the cover to it, because I have all these different. So this one is from Plum Street Samplers. This one is called This Happy Morning, and there was two versions. There's the one done on the dark, which would be very pretty, but I don't like stitching on it. And then there's the lighter color. I'm doing mine on 18 count Aida. I am using a mixture of DMC and Weeks Dye Works. Just a second. All right, so Mr. Jerry's in the sunroom here, so it's such a nice day out that he's moving some hostas that need to be moved. And he wanted me to go outside to say, this is a good place. And I said, nope, you already told me where, it'll be fine. So, But anyways, so Plum Street samplers. Like I said, mine's done on 18 count. Probably it is the vintage country mocha, because that seemed to be what I was always doing. But mine is a little different on the bottom, because this was done on 1/1 on, what was the main one done on? 36 count. And I can't do that on linen very easily. So my words are all there, but it took up more space. So I am basically on the end of this trying to get the grass all filled in. And so this is what it looks like. Trying to see what you can see. So she is a big girl. She's going to be a pretty girl when she's done. So I am working on the last bit of grass right there. And then once that's all filled in, hopefully you saw that, it'll be done. And then I can decide what else that I want to work on. I've got lots that I've started. I still have that Teresa Colgate land that I love that I haven't touched, because I want to get this done, and then that will be my other big project until something else pulls my attention. So I did that, and then I had also did Primrose Cottage Spring Blessings. If you belong to her newsletter, she on Fridays does a free quilt design or pattern to do, and she also does a free cross stitch. And this one really spoke to me, so this is what hers look like. And I did mine on 18 count in the blue. And so that's what mine looks like. So that will go into a small frame, I think, that can be stand up on, or or I kind of have an idea, like a sticky board with some so it will go over the sticky board, and then there'll be a little bit larger sticky board with some fabric behind it or on it, so it will set raised up on that, and then it can set on a frame holder. So then I started looking through my cross stitch works in progress that I've had on the go for many years, and I was going through things, and I'm like, oh well, there's 2 bags here that really there's nothing in them that I can basically take care of the floss. I didn't hardly start anything on them. I don't like the fabric, and so I set those aside. Well, I came across one, and I forgot that I had done this, I think, last year. So Tiny, I think it's Tiny, no, Shannon Christine's. She had given out, they were freebies, and it was in her Facebook group, and it was, you got 1 a week in October for Halloween. And I got 2, 4, I got 5 of them done. The 5th one is still in the box that I need to finish because it's half done. And then I had 2 more I think I have to do. So, and they were just like little ornament type things. So, but this was the first one. I'm pretty sure these are on 18 count. That was the second one. So I need to finish these. I just might get little mini hoops because I bought some mini hoops, and if they'll fit, the ones that will fit, I'll do that. It's like a candy apple. Whoops. And then this one, the cupcake. So I think what I will do is I will definitely pull out, when I get some of these others done, pull the other ones out because I have them on my app Pattern Keeper, and I'll try to finish those because really these go quite fast, and that way I can finish them either in little pillows or an ornament or however I want to do them. But yeah, so I just thought that was kind of a nice surprise. And then the last thing is that my thought process is that when I get that big barn one done, I have the bigger patriotic one, but I also wanted to start something, and I'm trying, even though I've bought patterns and everything, I still have nice patterns that I want to use. And I bought this one for my dad. My dad's been gone 21 years this November 19th. He was 68 years old. And his liver shut down due to his younger years of being an alcoholic and everything, and getting saved and trying to rebuild his life and everything, and the liver just quit working. So he had this favorite song. He was in the military, he was in the Navy, he was on a ship, and he loved his kids. We were my 2 brothers and myself he adopted, and then my younger sister, baby sister, was his. And he, gave us his name and everything. So his favorite song which probably surprised a lot of people because you don't think of this as a favorite song, was the Battle Hymn of the Republic. And he had a favorite flower was red geraniums, and every year I always try to get a red geranium basket or flowers in remembrance of him. And that song, now I never heard my dad sing or anything like that, but when I don't think any of us kids knew that was his favorite song either, until he knew that he wasn't going to live much longer, and that was what he told us. So I had bought this chart a long time ago, not 21 years. Well, it could have been, because no, I don't think it was. It might have been, I don't know when, but it was by it's called, where is it? My Big Toe Designs, and they have one that's called Battle Hymn of the Republic. And I've been missing my dad really bad lately, and I think I'm ready to do this one. I couldn't do it before, so, but this is what it's going to look like. that top border is going to be no joke in the bottom, but the word should go pretty fairly quickly. But I will do mine on 18 count. Mine will be 7 inches wide by 14 inches long. I did have to order new fabric because I don't have anything that big, because I've been using my fabric right up and it's getting pretty darn thin, but I don't have anything to go with this. So yeah, I even had it in this. It says Dad's Battle Hymn of Republic. I even have the threads, and there's not that many colors. Let me pull these out. She tells you exactly how many and you should have, because they'll be extra. And so I have Weeks Dye Works, and I have DMC. So those are the colors right there. So this DMC is number 930. And then this one is Weeks Dye Work called Peacoat, P-E-A, Peacoat, which is a really dark. If you remember in the Navy, their dark blue, that's what that reminds me of. And then you have Merlot. I love Merlot. I've used Merlot in another project I made for my sister. And then this one's called Whiskey. That was my dad's favorite drink, whiskey. So this will make a really nice looking project. So those colors are basically in the border, and this light blue right here will be the words. And then the verse that says glory, glory, hallelujah, his truth is marching on, will be in the peacoat. But the reds and everything will be, I gotta see what you're seeing, yeah, up in that top part. So I am going to start that. I don't know how long it will take me to do or anything like that. I'm not putting any timeline on it, but it will make me remember my dad even more. And because I have a picture of my dad when he was at my sister's son's wedding, and we have his from the VA, his paper that said that he was in the military and all that stuff. And then Jerry had found me a big old ship that was like what you'd see up at the Sulaks, and so I put that up there. My sister has all his stuff. She has his flag, she has his military pictures and stuff like that, and it was supposed to be shared. She would have them so long, and then she would let me have them for so long, and they're still with her, and that's fine, you know. She can hang on to them, right? Because it's not going to bring him back. So, and it's not a big fuss over it either. So, but anyway, so I'm going to start that when it comes in, and but my main focus is on that that red barn and my English paper piecing. I wanted to touch bases a little bit about the weight loss journey through Weight Watchers and everything. I am going to, in November, my subscription runs out through Weight Watchers. They had done a special where if you join for a year, it was a 12-month commitment for, I think with tax and everything, it being $12 a month. And I decided that all I'm getting from Weight Watchers and my emails and everything is, you know, weight loss drugs and all that stuff. And I just feel like I need to mix it up a little bit. So I tried to cancel it. They did put a cancellation thing in, said that it would be in effect November 14th, but because it was that 12-month commitment, they cannot refund me. So even if I said cancel it and I quit using it, which I have been, I'm still being charged that $12 a month until November 14th. And so instead I am going on the Healthy app. They had, I don't know if it's still on, it was on yesterday, for if you bought the Pro, which is normally $99, it was $44, something like that for the year. And I have a friend who has been using it for a long time, and she really loves it. So we're both going to do the Healthy app. She's been doing it, but I'm going to do that. And so I did start that. I quit tracking in my Weight Watcher app, and it's just like anything else. You know, it's a brand new app, and, you know, I was so used to certain things being, I'm still doing the diabetic plan. I think it's called Sugar Carb or something like that in Healthy. But it's just building that back up. And it's also sitting there going, knowing that in Weight Watchers, like the chicken that we eat and the lean beef that we eat is 0 points, but in Healthy app there are points associated with it. And but they give you more points to kind of, for me anyways, to do that. When I walk and I put in my activity, it does keep track of it, and I can have it so that it does use it if I want to, or it doesn't have to. So because, you know, the snacking at nighttime, I've got to get a hold of it. And there was a podcast, I should have listened to it again, that my friend sent me from one of their coaches. And the generic thing was, the word lazy was how sometimes that you call yourself, do you ever call yourself being lazy? And maybe you're not being lazy, maybe it's more of I can't remember her words, but avoidance. So if you sit there and you tell yourself, you know, if you are truthfully, example, walking is really hard for me on the treadmill. My friend, if she isn't sending me stuff that she's already got her walk in, I could easily just tell myself, you know, make the excuses that, you know, I've done a lot today. I don't need to be on that treadmill. I don't need to walk. I'm going to get on it later, anything. And what they are saying is that if you are really honest with yourself, you're not lazy. Maybe you just don't want to. And that's all right. If you don't want to, then you need to tell yourself that you don't want to. She even said, like with tracking, she said, how do you expect to lose weight if you don't keep some sort of tracking down to know what you've ate during the day? But she said, and if you don't want to, that's fine. She made the reference to, let's say that you have scheduled 45 minutes to go to the gym, but you've had a hard day at work or just a hard day and you don't want to go. Well, and because it's 45 minutes. So she said, so maybe if you sit there and tell yourself, okay, maybe I don't need to give myself 45 minutes. Maybe I need to cut that back so that I can still get it in. Or maybe I need to go just take a 5-minute walk. She goes, as long as you do something. And for me, it was enough to make me feel like she's right. I'm making these excuses. And I told Jerry and I told my friend that whenever they do the walk and everything and I don't, I feel guilty. I feel like I'm letting them down, not thinking I'm letting myself down. I feel like, you know, it's some days it's just a drudgery that I have to do because, oh, I'm going to let that person down and I don't want to do that. And I think it stems back to, you know, and growing up, never being told that you're good enough and that you always are striving to do better and always hoping that somebody in your family, your parents would say that, you know, that they're proud of you, they can see, and all the hard work, but nothing is being done like that. So that was very, very good, and I saved it so I can re-listen to it and everything. But sometimes, like with the snacking, it can be an excuse of sitting there going, well, Jerry's having a cookie. I should be able to. Instead of going, do you really want a cookie? I mean, if you really want a cookie, then track it and eat it. And then when you gain, don't be so upset because, oh, this isn't working. Well, maybe for me, I'm not trying as hard as I could. And with the spring and summer months coming, there's ice cream, and that's a really big downfall for both of us here. And so, I don't know, I just needed more of a change. I needed to be able, and I told Jerry and I told my friend that it's nothing that they're doing, it's all on me. I just feel like I'm letting everybody down, and I got to get back into the mindset of the only person you're letting down is yourself. And it doesn't matter what they are doing. You can only do what you can do in the moment. And so for me, if I physically cannot walk 30 minutes on that treadmill, I can go outside if it's nice, or I can go on the treadmill for 5 minutes, or I can walk around my house for 5 minutes. Before we had a treadmill, I would do that. I would just sit there and walk back and forth in the house when Jerry was working. You know, the cat would look at me kind of funny, but, you know, I'd put a timer on and I would walk, you know, 10 minutes at a time because that's all I could do. And I would do that 3 times a day. And so, you know, I have to get out of that mindset that just because I did 5 minutes doesn't make me less of a person for somebody who did 30 minutes or 45 minutes or whatever it is. And so I just need that grace. I need that forgiveness for myself. Because I remember when I lost several times, you know, all my weight, I didn't have the back problems that I have now. And I didn't have the, you know, getting tired too quickly and getting frustrated because, man, all I've done was, you know, while I do some physical work in the garden and, you know, I'm whipped and I can't do like I used to do. And so for me, I just want to get healthier and I want to get the pounds off. So So I do a lot of crafts, and in between, just because I don't talk about the weight like I used to in my earlier videos, I am still doing them. And I know I probably have lost a lot of my Weight Watcher people because I quit talking about it all the time, and I quit showing you my food and all that. And I'm not going to go back to showing you the foods or anything like that. I'm just saying that my weigh-ins are on Fridays, and the majority of the time I'm walking. There have been days that I haven't, but the majority of the time that I am showing up for myself. This week I cannot walk on that treadmill, but today I got up and I walked to my craft room, and I had all the cross stitch bags already out and stuff, and I for about 15-20 minutes went through that, and then walked back out and did something else. And I just feel like, you know, I've got to be careful, but I also need to move too. And then when I sit down, then I sit down for an hour, maybe an hour or two, and then I'll get back up because I need to refill my drink or I need to go to the bathroom. And then I try to move for 5 minutes because it doesn't bother me to be up. What bothers me is when I go to sit down, it's in that lower part of the sciatica on the right side. And it might not even be my sciatica. It might be I just pulled a muscle. So, yeah. But I'm trying not to get on myself to say, you know, that I'm lazy, because maybe some days I am. But I think the majority of the time I'm not. And when I hear my husband say to me, well, you are doing more than you used to do. Well, I don't feel like I am. But if I think about it, I used to sit on my rump 8 hours a day and barely move. And so whenever we went to do something, I would whine like a little kid and say, you know, no, because I can't do it. I can't walk. I can't move. I can't. Because my body just was so used to not moving. And I don't want to be like that again. And so I'm trying. So, but anyways, it is a gorgeous day. And I enjoy having the windows open and the fresh air come in. And I want to say thank you for sticking around. I know this is longer than it needs to be, but thanks for listening to me. And I hope you are doing well. I hope your crafts are just flying off your needles, your whatever needles they are, whether they're cross stitch or sewing or sewing machine or knitting or crocheting. And there's another crochet along coming up in April I'm going to be doing, and it's mosaic, and it's squares. I have to get my 2 fabrics, or my 3 fabrics, my 3 skeins of color yet, so that will be coming up. So, but anyways, thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking by. And, you know, I never say give me a thumbs up, but, you know, that does help the algorithm. And subscribe if you want to. That also helps. And I really appreciate you coming back and saying hey and letting me know that there's somebody out there listening. So, till we meet up again, see you soon, my friends.
Wherever you